All right, we're live. I'm live again. So straight from work, straight from the work yard to here. Hello, everyone. So, oh, I've been looking forward to that coffee all day. Okay, so here we are. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm a bit tired, but I'm wired, I'm fired, but I'm tired, but no problem, right? Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something really controversial today, right? But it's not controversial in the real sense. Basically, what I'm saying is this. If you're a septic tank owner or a sewage treatment plant owner, then the mention of the septic tank ban is doing people's nuts in, right? And let me just, okay, so I just wanted to spend, right, the time today to explain, right, what the heck this is all about, right? So let me just start at the beginning. 3 years ago, the government decided to change all the legislation and rules and regulations regarding septic tanks in the UK. Now, I don't make these rules or regulations, right? And that may seem pretty obvious to you, but although I've been doing this for 20 years, I'm one of the only people or companies in the country right now who are actually warning people about this, right? You know, people think, oh, God, shut up about the septic tank ban. Who is this guy, right? He's just trying to cash in on it and he's trying to scare everyone. Get out of here, which is fine. You know, people are entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not pushing this, right? This isn't, you know, some crusade I've got to flipping, you know, to scare people or wind people up. Look, regardless, if you're a septic tank owner, right, or a sewage treatment plant owner, regardless, right, whatever you think about me, I'm just a messenger. On the 1st of January 2020, the septic tank ban comes into effect. Now, if you're asking me why, they're bringing it in, I personally think, okay, yeah, listen, first and foremost, as a responsible septic tank consultant, you know, if certain septic tanks up and down the country are a pollution risk, and people could die, then of course, right, of course, these rules and regulations make so much sense, right? I mean, there's no price you can put on a human life, okay? So that's number one. Okay, so moving on from that, do I think there's a lot of money to be made by the government if they fine people? Then yes, I think that as well. So let me give you an example. The governments are making billions and billions from parking fines, from speeding fines, from not paying your tax. And it just seems to me the more fines, right, you can put upon people, the more money you get back. And so on the 1st of January, right, 2020, all the people who own septic tanks and sewage treatment plants in the country, right, will be affected by this new rule, by this new law. And so basically what happens is this, right? The Environmental Agency can come round to your house, they can ask you what sewage system you've got in place. And they can inspect it, okay? And if they find it breaks any of the rules, they'll fine you, full stop. They'll decommission your septic tank and they'll fine you and they'll make you put another tank in. So, you know, these fines can range anywhere from like, I don't know, 5 to 20,000 quid. Plus you'll have to put a new septic tank system in. So this is serious stuff, right? This is really, really serious stuff we're talking about here. It's not me putting the cat amongst the pigeons. Go on to .gov, type in general binding rules and see it all for yourself, right? I'm just awakening people to a situation. So look, I'm going to go into a bit more depth about this septic tank ban now. But the reason I've made this video, the whole reason I've made this video is because I want to help you preempt a situation. So if you go to septictankban.com, I will show you there septictankban.com. If you type that in, www.septictankban.com, I've done I think it's a 9-minute video, and I'll show you how to make your septic tank fully legal before the 1st of Jan 2020. Really simple, cost-effective, easy way to make your septic tank legal and just bypass all this red tape. So what I'm going to discuss now, all right, to those people who, like, don't get me wrong, the septic tank ban isn't affecting everyone, right? It's going to affect a percentage of people. So it probably will affect 50–60% of the septic tank or sewage treatment plant population. So let's just start with sewage treatment plants. A sewage treatment plant is a sewage system. I mean, they could look 1,000,001 shapes, right? And they have electric running to them. They're powered by, let's put the powered by electricity, right? Electric. And so they've got compressors, they've got motors, they've got wires in them, and in lots of cases they've got pumps in. Okay, and so these electric systems are being targeted by the government now. It says, right, and I quote, on the bindingrules.government website, go and have a look. It says, if your sewage system, right, if the motor breaks down, or you're prone, get this now, if where you live, your system is affected by power cuts, then you have to repair or replace it. Well, you can't obviously repair something against power cuts, can you? You can repair the motor. A lot of these motorized systems have got cogs and bearings and pulleys and gears and motors in, and they break down because, look, anything electrical where there's water and moisture, it breaks down, right? And so the rules state that on the 1st of Jan 2020, if your motor breaks down or any of the pump breaks down or the motor breaks down or stops working, then you need to replace it or replace your system. So this is the thing now. The environmental agency and the government agencies are just going to go around and do spot checks on people. So, but here's the crazy thing, right? If you're affected by power cuts, there's nothing you can repair. It's just, if your power's, you haven't got any power, you haven't got any power. So, imagine you've got a power cut for, I don't know, 1 day, a week. Then this raw sewage is going in and raw sewage is coming out. So this is a serious thing that's coming into the country here. A really serious thing. And one of the way round an electric sewage system, so we'll call this a sewage treatment plant, right? In fact, yeah, it's an electric sewage treatment plant. One of the ways round this, that's it, sorry, it's like, whoa, it's late, I've had coffee, I've been working all after. One of the ways around this problem, got it, yes, is to put a non-electric sewage treatment plant in. A non-electric sewage treatment plant. That's one of the ways round beating this new 2020 ban. Something like the ecosystem. If you go to septictank.co.uk, yes, it's a plug, but it's not a plug in that sense. This isn't a sales pitch. You know, I'm just saying, if you want to, considering a non-electric sewage treatment plant, then go and have a look on septictank.co.uk. I'm one of the only people in the country that sells them, because I think that's the future myself. You know, some people call me eccentric, but I think it's the future, non-electric sewage systems. Okay, so that is the rules regarding, well, some of the rules, there's lots of them, but I'm just giving you the basic ones here. So that is the rules and regulations that come into play in a few months on the 1st of January 2020. That's going to affect sewage treatment plant owners. So it's not just septic tank owners that this new law will affect. All right, so we've looked at sewage treatment plants now, right? We've looked at sewage treatment plants. Now let's look at septic tanks. All right, so it's not just you, septic tank owners, who have been targeted. It's people with all kinds of sewage systems. All right, so let's say, let's take, there's two types of septic tanks, right, that have been around for, let's say 50, 60 years, right? So I'm looking at the older ones first, right? And these are the brick-built ones, right? These are the ones that the government are trying to target initially. And the red's there because they're brick-built. And unless they've been maintained, bricks come loose and they start to crumble, they become tired, they become worn. And what happens is, let's say this is the sewage in here, right? What happens is some people deliberately put holes in their septic tank, some don't, they just fall out. But when that happens, the liquid then just drains out through the sides, right? So the raw sewage just drains out through the sides, and that's great for people that don't want to pay septic tank emptying costs, because the tank never needs emptying because it's always draining out. So let me give you another example, okay? So that's one kind of septic tank. How much space have I got here? Okay, let's put, and this is another old septic tank. I know you can get new versions of these, so don't get me wrong. This is like an onion septic tank. Okay, and they're made of fiberglass. They're really flimsy, and these two crack and break and let the water out, you know? And also, in a lot of onion-shaped septic tanks, they've got like a black liner in. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's like got hooks here, and it's a black liner, right, that's held up in the septic tank. And what happens is, after 10, 20 years, this black liner, the hooks here break, and the liner sags to the bottom of the tank. And so why am I telling you all this? Because let me show you now, right? Let me show you, and I quote, what the government website say about certain symptoms. If your septic tank septic tank is displaying certain symptoms, then it becomes symptoms, rather, it becomes illegal. So on the .gov website, under general binding rules, it states that if your septic tank leaks, if your septic tank is blocked, if your septic tank isn't discharging the water, right? So wastewater not flowing as it should do, and if your septic tank smells, right, Then it states this. It says it must be repaired or replaced. Now, yes, I think that's nuts, but I can't, you know, incite a rebellion against the government or anything like that. Oops, sorry, I've just dropped my pen, you know, and I'm not trying to incite a rebellion against the government or anything like that. So don't get me wrong here, okay? You know, I mean, some septic tanks are in a state of disrepair and some aren't, but, you know, if your septic tank smells, you've got to have it repaired or replaced. I mean, if your tank's 50 years old or 20 years old, it seems to me, right, that once your septic tank is going to get over 15 years old, you're going to have to replace the system. This is how I think it's going, and that's just my opinion, by the way. I don't speak for anyone else, you know. No one's endorsing me to say that. I'm actually just saying, if your septic tank smells, right, or it's blocked, and you're having to get it jetted quite regularly, and it's still blocked, or it smells, then you've got to have it replaced. So you're talking about, right, if you're encountering any of these symptoms, then that could cost you anywhere from like 6 to 12,000 quid to comply with this new government legislation that's coming in. So this is serious stuff. I'm not labouring the point here to wind you up. I'm not labouring the point, you know, because I got nothing better to do this evening. You know, I'm trying to awaken people to a situation here. It's serious, right? This situation's coming in, right? Most us Brits, we like to leave it to the last second. January come and go, oh, no, oh, great, quick, we'll get the septic tank emptying man to suck it out and everything will be all right. It won't be all right. Inspectors, they'll pay inspectors to go around and inspect your tank. They'll make you pay to get it empty so they can go in and inspect it. All right, so that's the bad news. Well, I suppose it's good news, which way you look at it. As I said, no one wants to pollute the environment, right? No one wants raw sewage anywhere. So what I'm saying is that that's good. That's really good. You know, we don't want cholera coming back like in Victorian times. So don't get me wrong here. But it's bad in the sense that if you're a septic tank owner and you really don't know how to get your head around this, you think, well, my system is 25 years old. I don't know if it needs repairing or replacement. What do I do? It's going to put some people in a quandary. Well, I've got something really simple. I've got a really simple fix, I would say for like 60, 70% of all septic tank owners, right? What you need to do, go to septictankban.com. Septic Tank Ban. Now that looks like Bond, doesn't it? But it's not Bond. So I'll write that bit again, right? So it's not confusing. And what I've done there, I've actually created, I spent about 3-4 hours doing it, right? I spent 3 to 4 hours creating. There you go, that's better, isn't it? You can see that a bit better now, can't you? So septictankban.com. And as I said, I've spent about 4 hours creating a 9-minute video to show you what these basic rules and regulations are. It shows you why septic tanks develop leaks, break down. It shows you why septic tank emptying, rodding and jetting is just a waste of money and a waste of time and won't protect you or won't, you know, get your tank ready for when all these rules and regulations come in. But most importantly, at septictankban.com, right? So www. It will give you a really simple, easy fix to make your septic tank, right? If you go there I'll show you how to make your septic tank 100% legal and 100% compliant, right, with the UK government, with building control, and the environmental agency. Environ. It's very hard to write and talk and spell. Environment agency. That's it. So yeah, so if you go to septictankban.com, right, I've made a free video which will show you how to make your septic tank 100% legal, 100% compliant by the 1st of Jan 2020, make it compliant with the UK government, UK building control, and the environmental agency. So, okay, so there you go. I've lingered on that for long enough. I don't want to kind of, labor the point, but, if there's a danger looming, a danger coming, then I just like to warn people, So that is that done then. Okay, so there we go. So that is the end of my live broadcast. Let's just have a look here and see if there's any questions. All right, that's a very good question. Okay, that's a very good question indeed. I'm installing a new septic tank. Do I need planning permission and a permit? Very good question. So it depends on two things. So here we go. Can you see that? Yeah, so before. So let me type this in. All right, so this will answer your question nice and easy. Okay, so if you've got a new plot of land, or you're looking to put a septic tank or a sewage treatment plant in a plot of land that has never had a sewage system on it, then you need to apply to building regs for planning approval. All right, so I'll say that again. If you're looking to put a septic tank or a soak-away in or a sewage treatment plant, and the parcel of land, the plot of land, whether it's 100 acres, whether it's been, I don't know, 1 acre, if that parcel of land, that bit of land has never, ever, ever, ever had a sewage system on it, then you need to apply for planning, to building regs for planning approval. And you need to get consent, right, from the environmental agency. Full stop. There's no way around it. Okay, that is fact. Okay, so that's law. Now, if the land that you are looking to install a sewage system, and by sewage system I mean septic tank, sewage treatment plant, whatever, a sewage system on has at some time had a sewage system on it, then you do not need planning approval or consent from the environmental agency. So I'll go through that again, right? So if you're, let's say you bought a house and you want to put a new septic tank in, a new soakaway, a new sewage treatment plant, if the land that you're looking to install a new system on had a sewage system on it, whether that's a bucket, you know, a cesspool, cesspit, septic tank, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. If that sewage system was installed prior to the 1st of Jan 2015, then you do not need planning approval or consent from the EA. You can just swap it. And it doesn't have to be like for like. It doesn't have to be in the same place. As long as it, you know, so let's say it was in one paddock, but you now want to put your new sewage treatment plant or your septic tank, I don't know, a quarter of a mile away, still on your land. If that land that's connected to your property had a sewage system on it prior to 1st of Jan 2015, you do not need planning approval. It doesn't have to be the same make, or it doesn't have to be the same manufacturer, it doesn't have to be the same color, it doesn't have to be the same shape. Doesn't matter. As long as it was before 2005. After 2015, you need planning approval. If there's never been a sewage system on there, you need planning approval and consent. All right, so what about then if you're, oh, I hope that's answered your question, by the way. So what if you have, what if you need to repair your system? All right, so let's say you, all right, so before the 1st of Jan 2015, let's say you need to repair or replace. You know, it's getting late now. I'll do that again. Okay, it's getting late. It's getting, this is the last bit, by the way. This is the last bit. Let's say you need to repair or replace. There we go, that's better. All right, a component. So, and let's say that component was a soakaway. Let's say it was the septic tank. Let's say it was a sewage treatment plant. Sorry about the squeaking. So let's say you need to replace half the soakaway. Let's say you need to replace all of the soakaway. Let's say you only need to replace the septic tank. Let's say you just need to replace the sewage treatment plant. Again, if it was any of those components, that, you know, whether in part or in whole, if it was before the 1st of Jan 2015, you do not need planning permission or anyone's approval to do so. You can just replace it. Doesn't even have to be like for like. Obviously, a soakaway is a soakaway is a soakaway, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a soakaway system. You could replace it with septic tank crates, you know, or easy drain, something like that. So there you go. So I hope that's helped. If you need any free help, you need any advice, then just give us a bell. And there's two places. If you're concerned about the septic tank ban, then just go to septictankban.com. As I said, I've made a free video there that will show you how to make your septic tank 100% fully legal, right? So that's one. If you're not worried about the septic tank ban and you're looking to put a new system in, if you're looking to replace an old system, if your soaker waste failed or whatever, then my main site is septictank.co.uk. Okay, so if you want help, you want free advice, you want to speak to me, you want to buy Cube, you want to buy Easy Drain, you want to buy septic tanks, wants me to install it, repair it, or I don't know, give you a sewage treatment plant, electric, non-electric, septictank.co.uk is where you want to go. If you're worried about the septic tank and want a really cheap and easy fix, then go to septictankban.com. So listen, thank you very much for letting me advise you and answer your questions. And thank you very much for watching my live broadcast. You take care, and I will see you live again tomorrow.